All right. Week 3. Let's get it. Fantasy football, start, sit, Q&A. You guys know the drill. Repping the Bucs jersey today because we got a big, NFC implications type of game against the Packers, because I think both, these two teams are going to be vying for like the number 1 seed in the NFC throughout the playoffs or throughout the regular season. So big game today. Hopefully we can get the W with our JV crew of wide receivers.
This game is going to be fucking ugly. Like I would be shocked if both teams crossed 20 points today. Like
I think it's a race to 20. That's what one of the Buccaneers podcasts I listened to is like, it's a race to 20. Whoever gets there is going to win.
Like 2017, that type of game, maybe 21-14, something like that. It's like it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, definitely going to be ugly. So Mono, first one in here. What's up, boys? More boom game this week. I'm feeling it. Yeah. For those of you guys that are wondering too, who have access to our dynasty rankings, I'm in the process of updating mine, and the Elijah Moore has barely moved. Just out of curiosity, would you move Garrett? Because I moved Garrett Wilson ahead of him because they were back to back before this, and now I moved Garrett Wilson ahead of him.
Well, I think it was always a debate between Moore and Wilson, and like the main thing why, like for the most part, I was Moore as well, is that like, Garrett Wilson hasn't really shown.
They're like the same age, so age doesn't factor in.
Age doesn't factor in at all. They're the same age. They're both extremely talented, and they've both shown that they could be elite players at the NFL level. However, like if you want to go with Garrett Wilson because of how historic his first couple games were in the NFL, 22 targets on neither of those games cracking a 70% snap share, I don't mind leaning there. However, I do think that this is a type of situation where it's not even Higgins versus Chase, because I think like Chase is the clear answer in that one. I think it's like more so like a 55-45 at max if you want to lean one way or the other.
Yeah, I moved your boy down a spot. I moved Jalen Waddle up ahead of him. That was the only
respectable,
because so I already had AJ Brown ahead of him, so he wasn't my wide receiver 3. He was my wide receiver 4. I moved Jalen Waddle ahead of him, and I moved Drake London all the way from like wide receiver 13 to wide receiver 7.
He's going to be a huge riser for me.
Yeah, I moved him pretty high, and we might do like a dynasty risers and fallers type of video next week or something. Once we're done with these dynasty rankings updates.
Yeah, no, definitely him. I mean, Treylon Burks is a guy that's probably stayed put, but everything that we've wanted to see from Treylon Burks thus far, given the small snapshot that he's gotten, given the small route participation, like despite not getting the opportunity, he's at a 3.4 yards per route run, and he's freaking leading the team in receiving despite being like 4th on the team in snaps. Like if he gets that snap share up, if he gets that opportunity up, like dude, we're looking at Burks, Wilson, London as like the 3 league-winning type of rookie receivers this year. And it's funny because all of them
could be in the top 10 of dynasty wide receiver rankings easily by the end of the year.
Easily. We do have a super chat quickly here from B. Ruckus. Appreciate that. He says, morning, fantasy friends. Kirk, Curtis Samuel, or Cortland Sutton. Leaning towards Samuel. I would actually go with Cortland Sutton here. Judy is questionable for tonight. I do think that Broncos offense will get back on track this week, especially against the San Francisco 49ers. Tough defense, but I mean, Sunday Night Football, they obviously got the receiving talent to be able to do so, and especially if Jerry Jeudy's out, Cortland Sutton has actually played very well to start the season, about a 25% target share in Russ's first 2 games.
Yeah, I actually have Kirk the highest of these guys.
Really? I have them close, but
I do think Judy's going to end up playing based on what I've seen from fantasy docs. So I actually would go with Christian Kirk, but I do think Sutton and him are really close for me. I have them both in my like top 15 in my wide receiver rankings.
I believe I have Sutton at 15 and Kirk at 17. So like they are very close.
Yeah.
Got another super chat here quickly from Edit. Appreciate that. He said Hollywood versus the Rams or Garrett Wilson versus the Bengals PPR. I'm going to go with Hollywood still here. The opportunity's been there. The target share's been there. They just haven't really connected for many big plays between him and Kyler. I do think that gets back on track this week against the Rams, though. I mean, if Garrett Wilson comes out and he ends up being, an 80+% route participation player, I have no problem if somebody wants to rank him as a top 24 receiver for the rest of the season.
Yeah, if Garrett Wilson has another big game this week, he's going to probably live in the top 24 for the rest of the year. Him and Drake London will kind of just have proven what they proved in college, which is that they're going to come right in and be great target earners like they did in college.
Got another super chat here from Alfredo, 499. Appreciate that. He says, what's up, guys? Need RB2 and flex standard. Damon Harris, Saquon Barkley, MT Patterson, Mike Will, wide receiver 1 and 2 are AJ Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So in terms of your RB2 and flex, Saquon's obviously going to be your RB2. He's a top 5 running back with that usage. And in terms of your flex,
Mike Thomas.
It's close in the standard, I'd say, between Michael Thomas and Mike Williams, because I mean the touchdown factor is there for the Chargers against the Jaguars, but I would still lean with Michael Thomas though. Like that might be like a back-to-back type of conversation.
Yeah, I guess you got a point on the standard thing. I would say that it might favor Mike Williams. It really all depends. I'd say if Keenan Allen is out, you go Mike Williams. If Keenan Allen plays, you go Michael Thomas. Is probably where I'm at with that decision.
Definitely fair. Though the Saints play at 1 p.m. and actually no, they both play at 1 p.m., right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
so you should be fine.
Michael Thomas playing Carolina at 1 p.m. and Mike Williams playing. Actually, no, they play at 4:05 against Jacksonville. So yeah, you probably won't know that, but we might hear about Keenan Allen before that time comes. I'd probably just go with Michael Thomas if you don't know.
Saves you a headache.
It does look like Keenan Allen's going to push the play, but I don't think he should.
Yep, I agree with that. We are all caught up on supers thus far, so you can get rec to the chat.
Yeah. So, Alp, what's the word on Keenan Allen playing? Speaking of Keenan Allen, I need to know by 1 p.m. because when my backup wide receiver plays Landry, you'll the inactives will have already come out he plays at 4 o'clock, so you wouldn't have known that. I would say just keep monitoring the Keenan Allen situation. I'm gonna look up real quick if any Keenan Allen news has come up yet.
Is this, I mean, I'm assuming Palmer's probably owned, but like, is this a type of situation where you'd probably pick up, maybe like a KJ Hamler so that like, if Keenan plays, you play him, but if he doesn't play, then you have like Hamler going on for tonight?
Yeah, so there's really no certainty on Keenan Allen's situation. It looks like everybody's saying he's like a true game time decision by the looks of it.
Yep.
I would say like, I'm going to look at my weekly rankings right now and where I have Keenan Allen because I don't have him high right now. Like I don't think you want to play him in most situations here. Like I have him pretty low.
I have him low too. I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah, it's pretty sketch looking right now. Anyways, I think do we have any super chats or no?
We are all caught up right now. By the way, I will send Spicy an invite because he's setting the tone in the mod section right now.
Facts.
Perfect.
Okay, so should I pick up Wentz or Goff? I have Herbert and Brady both late games,
Wentz.
But I'm worried about Brady's production. So you'd go Wentz over Goff there?
I would. I mean, Wentz has played too freaking good to start the season.
He has played too good. I literally have them back to back. I would start Goff.
I have them really close too.
Really high in that game. The Philadelphia Eagles defense looked really, really good in the first two games. I don't know if I want to mess with that. And Carson Wentz is very capable of just melting down in your lineup. So I personally would go with Goff there, but they are literally back to back for me.
Where do you have them ranked?
I have them 12 and 13. I have Goff 12 and Carson Wentz 13. In my weekly rankings, I have Wentz ahead, but I like just thinking about that decision. I did just move Goff out of them.
I don't know if I have. I probably. I mean, looking at my rankings right now, I'd probably take Goff over either the Tampa Bay and Green Bay quarterbacks this week because of that great game environment. But so Goff is probably going to be my quarterback 13 if I were to look at that, and I have Wentz at 10. So I would take Wentz. We actually do have one super here. Appreciate that from Sky Empire. He says flex full PPR, Thielen, DK Metcalf, Lazard, and Hardman. I would go with DK Metcalf here. Expected to face a lot of AJ Terrell in this matchup, but I mean, DK Metcalf's a good enough receiver. The Falcons defense, for the most part, aside from AJ Terrell, has not really been all too exciting to say the least. And if there's any game we're going to see that Seattle offense hit their peak, hit their ceiling, it would be in this type of environment against the Falcons. So give me DK Metcalf, though. I think Thielen should have a bounce back type of week going up against Detroit.
Yeah, I have them quite close, which probably wouldn't normally be the case for most people. But I have Metcalf at 26 and Thielen at 30 because I love the game environment. Like I said, I'm attacking that Vikings-Lions game wherever I can for sure.
I'd agree with that. We are all caught up.
Okay, so I flipped Lenny, Michael Thomas, Bateman, Dillon, and Muth for Kelsey, Pitts, and Dobbins. Okay, so just looking at these trades. So why do you have two? Why go after both of those elite tight ends would be my question.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused as well. Why do you have both of them?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, like, I wish I had more time to kind of like break that down.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a little hard to do that. Anyways, yeah, I lean on the side that I probably would have went with what you gave up as well. Unless it's like a tight end premium of some kind. Like I'm not really.
Yeah, tight end premium. I'm fine with it, but yeah, I agree.
Pick one for the flex: Akers, ETN, Russ Gage, Traylon Burks, or DJ Moore. I'm gonna go DJ Moore out of those options.
More. It's gonna be DJ Moore, but like again, I have DJ Moore like the highest in my rankings, but I'm cautiously optimistic right now about this being Treylon Burks' like breakout week. Because I said that about Drake London last week going up against the Rams. I think Treylon Burks' route participation goes up this week. Really good game environment against the Raiders. Has a good opportunity, but with what we've seen from DJ Moore, you can't make that assumption. You have to go with the chalk there with DJ Moore.
Yeah, I think a lot of the rookie wide receivers have a big chance of doing some shit here. I think Olave has a chance of really breaking out this week also.
Got another super chat quickly from Sky. He says Bengals or Chargers defense. Appreciate y'all. I will go with the Bengals going up against the Jets this week. I think the Bengals are going to get off to a hot start with their offense, get back on track. And as we know from a defensive standpoint, if you're forcing your opponent into pure, obvious passing game scripts, that's going to bode well for fantasy points from a defensive perspective. Sacks, interceptions, pick sixes, that type of stuff happening when you're able to get up early in games.
I'm going to disagree.
I'll
take the
I trust Trevor Lawrence over Joe Flacco is basically.
Oh, I do as well, but the Chargers are at home, and I think they have the better defense. So that's kind of like the tiebreaker for me.
Fair.
They have the great pass rush with Mack and and Bosa and Derwin, and I mean JC Jackson's probably going to be out for this game, so that hurts their secondary a little bit. But I think they're a better defense, and I think it's like a coin flip type of matchup, and one's at home also. So.
Definitely fair. Again, both of these are pretty favorable matchups for both the Bengals and the Chargers. It's just if I'm gonna, get in my head pick between Trevor Lawrence and that offense as opposed to the Jets with Joe Flacco, I will lean Bengals. But again, toss up. Chargers are better real life defense.
Spicy hot sliding into the backstage. What's going on? Adam, pick 2 out of 3: Higgins, Kirk, and Gabe Davis, full PPR.
I'm sitting Gabe Davis.
I'd probably sit Gabe Davis just for like the injury tiebreaker. There, plus, I mean, he will know if he's playing. He's probably already been labeled active because the game is at 1 p.m. But I will still sit Gabe Davis just in case he's coming off of some kind of pitch count or whatever. Plus, those other 2 options are just so
very good. Yeah. By the way, I want to quickly make reference. We're about 12 minutes in here. If you guys have a question, please don't spam it 3, 4, 5 times. I see that the mods are addressing that right now. But if you guys are watching, we go in order, and then if you super chat, you will skip the line. So keep that in mind when you're commenting at 11:57, and we're currently on comments that are 11:43 or 11:47.
Yeah. So we'll speed through a couple of these here. I'm facing a juggernaut this week. Pick 2 full PPR. I'm gonna go Elijah Moore and AJ Dillon there of those 2 options. I think it's gonna be a big run heavy approach for the Packers offense, and
they have to.
AJ Dillon is actually currently leading the team in targets, I believe, which is wild to say, but I'm pretty sure he is leading the team in targets right now.
I talked about it in the wide receiver start sit show, but basically 2 of the Packers leading 3 wide receivers or receivers in terms of targets are the 2 running backs. They are the only 2 startable Packers right now. And I actually made a bold prediction going into the year that no Packers player would finish top 12 at their position. Maybe one of the running backs get there, but aside from that, the receivers ain't doing it. Aaron Rodgers with that receiving core ain't doing it. And I mean, Robert Tonyan, until he actually gets a proper tight end snap share and proper route participation, nowhere close.
Yeah. Damian Harris or Darnell Mooney, PPR.
Harris.
Yeah, I'll take Harris as well. I think last week's workload was as a result of him getting a little bit banged up in that game. I think he should get a lot of carries in this game. In PPR, you want to favor the wide receiver, but I don't trust Darnell Mooney or the Chicago Bears right now.
Typically, you want to favor the wide receiver, but when you have a wide receiver whose team has completed 15 passes in 2 games and has thrown the ball 28 times, that's a type of situation where you want to avoid that. So
yeah, I have the Texans money line in one of my parlays today.
Got Lone Coyote 2009. Appreciate that with the super chat. He says 2 flex: Henderson, Akers, Hollywood, Allen Robinson, Dotson. Quarterback, a super flex spot, I believe, between Russell Wilson and Jared Goff. Also in another league, Mclaren versus James Robinson in his flex. So first one between Henderson, Akers, Hollywood, A-Rob. I mean, Hollywood's easily in your lineup, and I think Allen Robinson's the second one there.
Yeah, I think I just avoid the Rams backfield with that decision. And then quarterback for me, that's Russell Wilson still, even though Jared Goff is in a good spot. And then of those 2 options in the flex, I'm going to probably go Terry, even though he's most likely going to see the Darius Slay treatment.
Agree. I would do that as well. Terry, we drafted him with wide receiver 2 type of hopes, but realistically right now he's probably going to be residing in that early to mid-end wide receiver 3 range until we see him dominate from a target share perspective.
If I had to make a bet this year on who we get the most start set questions about, I think Terry McLaurin is definitely.
That's a really one. Because I mean, we drafted him, he's going to be this target hog for football. I talked about it in the wide receiver start sit show, but basically the assumption that we went into the season with has been the complete inverse to start the year. Because the main, alert to Terry McLaurin when we're drafting him is, dominant target share, quarterback question marks. We don't know how this offense will look. But the question mark has actually been his target share, and the actual environment of his situation has been really, really fucking good to start the year with Wentz and how that offense has performed thus far.
Yeah, it's really strange how that's worked out. Curtis Samuel's kind of been eaten in, and obviously Dotson with the red
over
zone
20% target share right now for Curtis Samuel.
Happy Kyle Pitts breakout week, please. Yeah, I mean, if Kyle Pitts has another down week, man, it's going to be a lot of panic from some people.
Got another super chat here from JT. Appreciate that. Struggling with this, Gabe Davis or London full PPR? Give me Drake London.
Yeah, I'll take Drake London there as well. I do have Davis actually higher than Drake London a little bit. But I think
the injury would be like the tiebreaker, I would say.
That's really close, man.
I have them back to back right now, but like if I have to make the choice in my own lineup,
there's no reports saying that he's going to be limited. I'm going to take Gabe Davis still. I think it's close though.
Yeah, it's not bad. They're actually 19 and 20 in my rankings. I have Gabe Davis one spot higher, but I know if I was personally making that decision, I'm actually going to switch him up. I personally would go London if I had to make that choice. So I just switched them in the rankings.
Dobbins or Olave?
Olave.
I'll go Olave. There was a report earlier today though that Dobbins won't be limited in any way. Like he's going to get a full workload. I don't know what that means exactly because we don't even know what his workload is. But I kind of believe it, to be honest, because he's practiced in full for the last 2 weeks. Plus, they have no semblance of a running game right now. They're probably thanking their lucky stars that J.K. Dobbins is playing because they can't run the ball outside of their quarterback.
I actually know like this league is a full PPR because it's actually in my league. So Lazardo, I personally go with Olave. I mean, he's getting the valuable looks down the field. 13 targets this past week, over 350 air yards in that game against the Bucs. Him and Jameis just weren't really on the same page, but I do think that with Olave, the fact that he's commanding that type of volume, as long as Jameis can, get better and more consistent down the field, we could be seeing Olave. I mentioned Burks maybe having that breakout week, but maybe it's Olave this week too.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Tom, you guys always have the best advice. Appreciate it. This week, I got Jeff Wilson and J-Rob fighting for RB2 and MT and Rashad Bateman fighting for flex. So for me, that's Michael Thomas in the flex pretty easily.
Yep.
J-Rob versus Jeff Wilson.
I'd go
kind
Wilson.
Of a toss-up. I think the Chargers' run defense is better than the Broncos' run defense. And I think with Jimmy Garoppolo running the show there, I think Jeff Wilson will probably get a lot of carries. I lean towards Jeff Wilson, but they're like literally back-to-back. I think I have them like 24 and 25 in my rankings.
Yep. I don't mind that at all. Here, get to the next comment.
That's a really close one.
And then I'll get to the super chat in a second.
Which two running backs should I start this week? Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Damian Harris, or Cordero Patterson? See, the tough thing, I think we're going to get a lot of Jacobs questions. Derrick Henry's in your lineup. I know he's been shit, but like he's in your lineup. Josh Jacobs versus, I would say Cordero Patterson is probably the conversation. Jacobs being like limited with the illness, like, man, I don't know what to do with Jacobs right now. I think I would probably just lean towards Cordero Patterson.
I'd go with Cordero Patterson as well. Got a couple super chats here. By the way, I'm going to switch that in my rankings real quick because
I had Jacobs a little too high. I got to move him down.
I'm going to move Zeke to 19 and then everybody else up one. Okay. Got a couple. Get the fuck out of here. Got a couple super chats here. First one from Mike. Appreciate that. Need one wide receiver, one flex. I have Keenan Allen, Garrett Wilson, Akers, Javonte Williams. Assuming that's Javonte Williams. If not, is it Jamal? Breece Hall could pick up
Williams, I would imagine, or else he wouldn't be in this question.
Oh, that's definitely fair. I'm going to assume that's Jamal, and if that's the case, if Keenan Allen plays, he's in your lineup. I think the other one would be Garrett Wilson for me.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I can't remember off the top of my head if any of these guys are pivot options in case Keenan Allen doesn't play though.
Yep, agreed there. I mean, pivot options would be like you could always worst case scenario. I don't mind if can you drop a player after they played if they're on your bench, right? In most leagues.
Yeah, I'm just saying if he has any pivot options here. Because he said he needs one wide receiver. So I would starters, I would throw Garrett Wilson in the wide receiver spot and put Keenan Allen in the flex. I'm just looking if any of these games are after 1 p.m.
Well, I was going to say Olave's available.
Okay, you can pivot to Akers if Keenan Allen is out. Okay. So I would throw Garrett Wilson in your wide receiver slot and then pivot to Akers if Keenan Allen is out, but plan to start Keenan Allen in your flex. That's what I would do.
I would also right now, if that's Jamal Williams, I would drop Jamal Williams straight up for Chris Olave right now.
Yeah, I would as well.
Yep. Oh, I misclicked. $1.99, appreciate that from Twinny. Would Jerry Jeudy and Olave for Pitts be an overpay? I think that's about fair value. That's close. I mean, if somebody needs wide receiver talent and wide receiver depth, I obviously Jerry Jeudy we think is about a top 24 receiver rest of the season, and Chris Olave's got the potential to put joy in that. But as we know with Kyle Pitts, I mean, this could either look really great in a couple weeks where he's back to his dominant self and he looks like a top 3 tight end rest of the season, or if he continues to struggle, giving up that type of wide receiver depth is tough. So I would say that's about fair value if I had to make a valuation for Pitts right now.
I wouldn't do that. I would rather have Jeudy and
Fair.
Olave.
Fair.
Yeah, you've kind of always been higher on Pitts than I have, but like I would rather go after a cheaper tight end if you're looking for a tight end upgrade.
Definitely fair. We have a couple supers here, so I'm going to quickly get to them. What's up, Akers, Harris, or Gordon? Pick one. I'm going to go with. That's a really close one. I'm going to go with Cam Akers. Actually, I think with the news about Damien Harris.
I have Damien Harris like 2 spots higher. I think
I have Akers 1 spot higher.
They're all like The Rams backfield is another like we're gonna get questions about constantly. Like I as of now I'm gonna start Akers over Henderson, but both guys are like outside my top 30 running backs right now. So I'm not like saying either of them are a slam dunk because I do think this is gonna be like a committee until it kind of works itself out.
Yep. $2 super chat from Alex. Appreciate that. He says Bateman, Drake London, or Marquise Brown, and why? I would go with Marquise Brown here. He's gotten all the uses that we could have possibly want. I think by far he's in the most friendly game environment. Rams versus Cardinals this week. We trust that Cardinals offense to get back on track. And I mean, if you're getting a 22% target share from Kyler Murray sooner rather than later, they should be able to connect for a deep one. So I think Drake London is the next guy here, and given the sheer volume he's seen, it is a very big debate, in my opinion, but I'm going to trust the upside here, Marquise Brown.
Yeah, I think Bateman's also in the conversation, but
he's close.
He's been a little bit his plays have been a little bit more spiky and unpredictable. So I actually have Marquise Brown like well ahead of both of these guys. Both of these guys are like just inside my top 24, but Marquise Brown's my wide receiver 16. So like I have him a fair bit higher than both of them.
Can you hear me? Sorry, my mic.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, dope. Another one, Knox or Conklin, Bateman or Kirk / Sutton, pick 2. Dawson Knox is questionable, no?
He was questionable coming into the game. I'm still starting him though.
Yeah, I agree.
He's active.
I was basically going to ask you if there's any more news on him. So yeah, I would go.
I think he's active and good to go. He's in my lineup.
I'll go with Dawson Knox, Bateman or Kirk / Sutton, pick 2. I'm going to go with the latter two there with Kirk and Sutton there.
Yeah, I would as well.
Another super chat, half PPR, pick 1, Dylan, Dobbins, Treylon, or Lazard. I'm going to go with AJ Dillon here, Diego.
Yeah, pretty easily as well for me.
$5 super chat from Paisan. Appreciate that, brother. Do you have a question? Well, feel free to get to your question if you have one. Just drop one down below and I'll keep an eye on it. Appreciate that, though. $1.99 from Goon Boy. He says Curtis Samuel or A-Rob, Aaron Jones and Dylan both start. I would start Aaron Jones and Dylan unless you have better options on the bench, but they are both, top 17, 18 level plays this week. In terms of Curtis Samuel versus A-Rob, I will go with Allen Robinson. I do think this is a get-right game. Second week in a row for the most part with the Rams.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the same league, but I would start both the Packers running backs over both of those wide receivers if it's the same league. But if they're individual questions, I agree with Danny.
Yep. Appreciate that. $4.99 from Gabriel. He says 3 leagues, Lamb or Bateman, Aaron Jones, Kamara, or Gabe Davis. Need 2, and then A-Rob or Bateman. I would go with Lamb over Bateman. Just trusting that target share. I do think this is another prime spot for the Cowboys offense to repeat what they kind of did from last week. And I mean, with CeeDee Lamb, if you're giving him 11 targets sooner rather than later, he's going to bust off a big play and score a touchdown. From the second question, Aaron Jones, Kamara, Gabe Davis. I'm going to go with the 2 running backs this year, assuming this week, assuming Kamara is going to be healthy, which by all accounts from Nick Underhill, it looks like he's ready to go. In terms of the final question, A-Rob or Bateman, I would go with Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, I would as well.
Another super chat here from Alex. Appreciate that. Are you starting Akers or Henderson PPR? I'm going to go with Akers because he got the higher opportunity share this past week. It's a toss-up, though. This backfield could go either way this week.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a weekly question until we get some clarity.
Yep. We actually got a follow-up from Paisan. Appreciate that. He says Hawkinson or Gerald Everett in terms of PPR. I think they're close in my rankings, but I would go with Gerald Everett from what we saw this past week with usage, especially if Keenan Allen's out again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not I don't know, man, actually. Like the game, and again, I'm going back to the game environment thing with the Sharps betting.
Chargers, Jaguars.
Oh, it's a solid game environment, but we could have a banged up Justin Herbert, or maybe no Justin Herbert at all. It sounds like he's going to try and push to play. I think I would actually go with TJ Hawkinson. They are back to back in my rankings,
Same.
10 and 11. So I would actually go with TJ Hawkinson, but it is really close.
I actually have them higher. They are 6 and 7 for me right now, but I got Frymouth locked in at 8. Non PPR wide receiver 2, Sutton, Dotson, or Thielen. Give me Colton Sutton there, Luis.
Yeah, I'll take Sutton there as well.
Yep. So we are all caught up on super chats. We got one more actually. Full PPR: Marquise Brown, Cooks, or Samuel. I am sitting Curtis Samuel there, Brandon.
Yeah, go with the first 2 there, and we should
Caught
be
up.
good now. All right.
Yep,
So Steven, we're back to like 11:40 a.m. for the record. He said, "God, I hope Keenan sits. He needs to get healthy." Who would you start in place? I'm going Curtis Samuel. I have them back to back in my rankings though. They're 32 and 33 for me, but I would go with Curtis Samuel of those 2 options.
Yep, agree with that.
Keenan Allen, Gabriel Davis, Allen Robinson, Curtis Samuel, half PPR. See, this is kind of unfortunate because like 2 of these guys are dealing with injuries, but I mean, I'm probably going to go Keenan Allen and Gabriel Davis, and you have a pivot in case Keenan Allen's out to Allen Robinson, so I'll just do that probably.
Yeah, that's how I would attack it as well.
Saints D or Chargers D? Give me the Saints D against Carolina. That's such a free cash matchup. Bateman, Lockett, Terry, Garrett Wilson, pick 2 full PPR. So
Bateman and Terry.
Yeah, I think I have Garrett Wilson and Terry really close. I got to look here. I have Garrett Wilson ahead of Terry. So
really,
I would go Bateman and Garrett Wilson.
I would go Bateman and Terry.
I think I'm ready. I think I'm already ready to do this with Garrett Wilson. Like I loved Garrett Wilson as a I still love Elijah Moore, but I loved Garrett Wilson as a prospect. Man, he was my wide receiver too, and I think we're seeing the next great rookie wide receiver.
Bush brother, I fully agree with you. I have no qualms with that.
And however, it's a really tough matchup for Terry. That's kind of the tiebreaker.
That's fair. I just want to see the route participation one more week before I put him back into wide receiver 24 plus range. But I mean, Garrett Wilson,
he's wide receiver 27 for me. I just have Terry really low.
I have him at 31, I think. So I mean, I'm not too far off of you right there. Yeah. Got another super quickly from Stinky Dipey. Pick 2, Dobbins, Elijah Moore, Lockett, Julio. Give me the first 2 there, Stinky Dipey.
You're gonna go Dobbins over Lockett?
Yeah, I am.
I think I'd go Lockett over Dobbins. Just I want to see it 1 week before.
That's fair.
Before I put Dobbins into the lineup.
I don't mind that.
I don't know what the scoring format of this is too.
If it's full PPR,
if it's like standard, I'd probably go with Dobbins and Elijah Moore. But if it's full PPR, I'm taking Lockett and Elijah Moore 100%.
That's a fair hedge. I like that.
Yeah.
On you now.
Okay. What's up, lads? Half PPR, start 1, flex. Hollywood, Michael Thomas, or Bateman. I have Michael Thomas, the highest of those guys.
Oh, it's start 1. Okay, I would go with Michael Thomas. Sorry, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd like to get Hollywood in my lineup if I can, but I would go with Michael Thomas of those options. Start 2 full PPR. I'm sitting Gibson there, Calvin.
Yep, agreed.
I don't think Herbert's going to be out personally from what I've read, but if he is out, I would go with Goff. I don't trust Tua against that defense, man.
I will say again, I have Goff a little bit higher, but I will say with Tua, man. Did you see the secondary that the Bills are rolling out this week?
That is true. Yeah, the Bills' defense is without Jordan Poyer and Mike Hyde.
3 best secondary players with
and there's some guys up front missing the game too. I think Oliver's missing the game too, isn't he? And like Jordan Phillips. Yeah, like their defense could be a little depleted this week. So
yeah,
and then obviously Dane Jackson's out too. So like it's not as tough of a matchup. I might change my answer to Tua.
Yeah,
in that case,
same.
I think I'd go Tua.
I just raised Tua to quarterback 13.
Yeah, that's close though, man. I like the matchup for Goff a lot. ETN or Jeff Wilson this week, kind of leaning ETN. I gotta look where I have those 2 guys. I think I got Jeff Wilson higher.
I just trust in the workload there.
Yeah, I'm also on board with Jeff Wilson. There 25 to 32 is where I have the 2 guys ranked. I like ETN from like a game script perspective this week, but James Robinson actually ran more routes than him last week, which has got me hella concerned. Even though it was a great game script, they like shut the Colts out. I'm still gonna need to see a little bit more out of ETN before I put him in my lineup over like a proven workload guy like Wilson.
I feel you. On you now.
I need 2 wide receivers in a flex PPR. A-Rob, Curtis Samuel, Drake London, Travis Etienne, Jeff Wilson Jr., and Chase Edmonds. So London's a lock out of this guy for sure. I would say Robinson is probably a lock for me as well of those options. And then the flex would come down probably to Jeff Wilson and Curtis Samuel, most likely. I think I go Curtis Samuel in full PPR because I don't think Wilson's probably going to get a ton of receiving work. I think I'd probably go with the 3 wideouts.
Yep. I got another super chat here from Brian. If Herbie outplay Mariota or Jimmy G or Flacco, I'll go with Mariota there. I expect the Falcons to be able to put up points against the Seahawks this week. Mariota obviously can rush the football as we saw in week 1. And I mean, the pass weapons with Mariota this week, obviously with how Drake London is playing and the potential talent upside of, Kyle Pitts getting back on track. I would go with Mariota.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
Brian Robinson's out running routes, which is fucking insane.
Dude, he is real life NFL 50 Cent for real.
Yeah, literally. Lions are gonna win today. I have the Lions money line in one of my parlays, so I hope they win as well.
Let me tell you one of my parlays that I made, right? So get to the next comment and I'll go through it. Let me find it.
Juju or Curtis Samuel from our gravy. I gotta look where I have those two guys. I have Curtis Samuel a bit higher, but I like
Juju a bit higher
this week.
I got Juju a bit higher.
I feel like Curtis Samuel also is another guy that we're just going to constantly get start-set questions about because I really don't know what to think of the guy. Like, I know he's a solid player and I know he's commanding targets, but I still don't trust the guy.
Yep, I agree with that. In terms of another potential breakout, did you see that Eric Bieniemy literally went out this week and said like, yeah, I don't know how we let a guy like Sky Moore only get 2 snaps this week. Like, we need to get him involved in the game plan if we want to like win.
Yeah, I mean,
he basically went out and said
Marquez Valdez-Scantling out there. Like, they need
to they kind of put that on themselves.
Yeah, they did put that on themselves. How much did they pay him again? Like 3 years, 30 million or
15
something?
15 million a year or something like that. Yeah, it's stupid.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Got another super here. Start Tua or Herbert. As long as Herbert is playing, like, he has to be in your lineup, though. He actually won't know this because the Chargers play after, I believe, right? At 4 p.m.
Yeah, and the pivots that you have are Jimmy G on
Cooper
Sunday
Rush
Night Football and Daniel Jones. Cooper Rush. I'm gonna look up what the most recent Justin Herbert news is because from what I've seen, people think he's gonna end up playing.
Yeah, that's what I've seen as well.
Yeah.
By the way, so Corey, I have Bills -4, which I'm kind of nervous about. I keep in mind I made this parlay at the beginning of the week, right? Bills -4. A little bit worried there because of how bad the defense is looking, but it's still Josh Allen, so I'll trust that offense. Chiefs -6.5. I got that line. I think it's improved a little bit, but I don't see the Colts being within a touchdown this week against that offense. Buccaneers, I got at -2.5. It's now 1.5. So
that's a good line for the Buccaneers game for sure.
Yeah, I think you guys are gonna win. Cowboys, I got at +2.5, and now they're like basically like almost an even. Pick them. Yeah, and then I got Broncos at +1. So $25 bet pays off $756.
How many legs is it?
I believe it was just 6. I just closed out.
Okay,
6, I believe, or 5.
I was gonna say, I'm like, it's because I've been doing $50 bets. I was like, my 4-leg parlays pay out that much usually,
5.
but I've been doing $50 parlays.
5.
So, yeah.
Okay. Now let's get back to the comments because people are getting a little rowdy.
Yeah.
Kobe, you got warned a few times, so you're gonna be put in timeout.
Yeah. Pick 3 half PPR: Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar.
No. If you're gonna be disrespectful to our mod, see you later, pal. You're in timeout.
Yeah. Rashad Bateman, Jerry Jeudy, and Michael Carter is probably where I'm going with these 3 options here. Tommy.
Yeah. Sorry. Which did you say? Sorry, I was dealing with a blockage.
Bateman, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Carter is where I'm going there.
Agreed. By the way, I know there's a setting on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's in StreamYard on YouTube, but if we know how to set it to subscriber comments.
Yeah, you can't. You can't do it with StreamYard. I think you have to be streaming directly through YouTube to do that. So, anyways, good morning in a full PPR league. Who should I start, Lamar or Hurts? Who should I think Light's the one who asked who to start last week when he said Lamar or Hurts, and I told him to start Hurts, and they both ended up snapping. But dude, I'm making trades if I'm you. Like, I don't want both of those quarterbacks. They're both extremely valuable.
Yeah, extremely. I think I would slightly lean Hurts here, but I don't want to sit Lamar.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly. If I were you, just whoever has the best week this next week, just sell him and hold the other guy.
Who should I start between Judy, Julio, or Wilson? I'd go with Judy.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, thoughts on starting Dotson over A-Rob and Elijah Moore?
I
wouldn't do it.
Dotson of those 3 options.
I wouldn't do it. The target share just has to go up, in my opinion.
Yeah. Wilson has been shit. Pretty sure I'm sitting him, but should I start Wentz or Goff instead?
Wentz.
I actually have Russ over both guys, so I would still start Russell Wilson.
I have Wentz over Russ.
If you choose to start one, I would start Goff, but I would still start Russ.
Fair. I have them ranked Wentz, Wilson, Goff.
Not gonna lie, I'm sitting Russ for Kirk Cousins. This one I'm fine.
Yes,
if you have Kirk Cousins, I'm fine sitting Russ for him because this is, we don't have primetime Kirk Cousins. We got him in the 1 p.m. window against the Detroit Lions. This is a classic 4-touchdown Kirk Cousins performance coming in.
Yep.
Noon slate Kirk Cousins is him, literally.
Is there?
Hey boys, good morning. What's
Good
up?
morning.
What's up? Ivan, start Herbert. It depends what your other options are. Hopefully you have another quarterback that's like a 4 p.m. guy and not relying on the Sunday nighters or the Monday nighters because I don't want to have to rely on Jimmy Garoppolo because he's your best option of the primetime games. Trade Dameon Pierce for J.K. Dobbins in a heartbeat.
Yes.
In a fucking heartbeat. Easily.
Yes. All day, every day.
Gang, let's go. PPR this week. ETN, Hall, or Pierce. I have Pierce the highest of these guys, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. Though ETN is fucking PPR.
In PPR, you definitely give the lean to ETN over Pierce, but I do have Pierce the highest. I have him at 28. I have ETN at 32, and then I have Breece Hall pretty buried at 39.
I have Pierce at 28 and ETN at 32.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. If Keenan Allen's good to go, would you start him over Sutton, Bateman, or Monty? I mean, I'd start him over Bateman and Monty easily.
Yeah, I don't know if this is over all of these guys or just over one of them, but if
the reason why I was
start one of these 4 people, I would start Sutton, but Keenan Allen I would start over Bateman and Montgomery as well.
Agreed.
Full PPR start 2: Garrett Wilson, J.K. Dobbins, Hollywood, and Juju. I'm gonna go Hollywood and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna make that decision. I had Juju higher than Wilson, but I don't want to sit.
I like Juju this week though too. He's a guy that I think you can definitely start.
I do too, but at the same time, it's do I really want to sit Garrett Wilson for Juju? One I know is gonna be a really good player. The other one is I'm putting him there because of the environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Juju is the definition of
I guess
results over process.
Yeah.
Not the process. People will claim process over results for Juju. They're 28 points implied total for the Kansas City Chiefs. Juju's a smart start. It's but he's not good. So that's why
he's the analytical darling. Where all the check marks me except for the subjective talent point.
Yeah, it's brutal. But yeah, Garrett Wilson's the guy I'd go with there. I have Keenan Allen and Judy starting in wide receiver 3 and flex. Should I sub ETN, Ayuk, Olave, Dubs instead? You have a pivot, I believe, with Keenan to Ayuk.
Yeah.
So I'd probably just roll. And I guess Judy's playing on Monday or Sunday night as well. I think I trust both of these guys. You have one pivot. I think of the 2 options that you have, you should be fine with Ayuk pivoting. I don't think both of them are going to be out, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Question I have for you. He actually has 2 pivots here. If he plays Keenan in the flex, he could always pivot to ETN because they both play at 4.
Oh yeah, I guess he does have ETN. I'm used to the Jags being buried at 1 p.m.
The way I would play this, because Judy's also questionable and you have Keenan who is questionable as well. I think ETN and Ayuk are close enough to begin with. So I think I would sub ETN as my sub for Keenan Allen, and then I have Ayuk as insurance in case Judy misses.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do as well. Good morning, Star. We're gonna get a lot of Wentz, Tua, and Goff questions. Yeah, I go with Wentz. I go Wentz. I'm moving Tua ahead of both of those guys.
You want to make that a little bet for this week?
Yeah, we could. I like Tua's outlook against a pretty depleted Buffalo secondary. So yeah. I don't anybody disagree. Who has Tua, Wentz, and Goff questions, I have Tua at 12, Goff at 13, and Wentz at 14. So they're all really in that same territory. And all of them, by the way, I have ahead of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, if you're considering those decisions.
I have Wentz at 10, Tua at 13, and Goff at 14. For the record. We actually got a couple super chats here, one from Jonathan and Mike. I'll get to them quickly right now. Hollywood, Bateman, Gabe Davis, or Lazard start 2. I'm going to go with Hollywood and Gabe Davis this week, though. I still like Bateman, but he's just right behind those 2.
Yeah, that's where I'm at as well. Those 2 guys.
Another super here from Mike. Appreciate that. He says flex Olave, Akers, or Keenan Allen. I mean, I guess you're not going to know. The Rams play at 4, right? So, I mean, I guess you could always pivot from Allen to Akers if Allen's out.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, if you have pivots with Keenan Allen, I would say you're cool going with Keenan Allen as long as you guys have solid pivots like an Akers, like an Allen Robinson, like a whatever, any kind of running back or wide receiver that plays on Sunday night, Brandon Ayuk or Jerry Jeudy or whatever the case is. So I'm cool just using my pivots if I got them. For those of you guys that have Keenan Allen related questions.
Also, it is perfect because the Jaguars Chargers kicks off at 4:05. The Rams Cardinals kicks at 4:25. So you're gonna have a
Right. You have the
20-minute
inactive first.
buffer there. Yeah, exactly. Stinky Dipey 499. Appreciate that. Better times ahead for Elijah Moore. Absolutely. Routes run, snaps look good, but the Jets lit up the Browns without him, kind of worrying. Yeah, no, I would agree with you. I mean, you trust the routes run, you trust the snaps, you trust that the player that you saw last year as a rookie who dominated realistically as is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL between week 7 and 13 is still there. Matt Harmon watched him over 79th percentile man, 91st percentile press in these first couple weeks when you compare it to historical reception perception data. He thinks that realistically the role has just not really been inducive for fantasy points. But with Garrett Wilson, the way he's been playing, we expect defenses to adjust to that. Elijah Moore's going to be primed for another breakout week this upcoming week.
Yeah, I hope Elijah Moore has his big week this week, though, so I don't have to answer any more questions about it because I also have Elijah Moore in my home league, so I would also just appreciate it.
Yep.
Disgusting question. Baker, Mac Jones, Geno, or Flacco?
Mac. You
going Mac Jones are these options?
I'm going Mac.
I think I'd rather start Flacco over Mac Jones.
Really? Why?
I think
the Ravens secondary.
I think I'd rather start Geno over all of them, actually.
No.
This is disgusting. I hate this.
I'm going Mac Jones, and it's gross, but I mean, man, I don't want to do any of these guys, but yeah, I mean, the Ravens secondary just looks so fucking bad.
Actually, yeah, you know what? Give me Mac. I'll take Mac as well, but this is disgusting. Don't ever ask this again.
Kyle Hamilton is fucking lost, by the way. I'm not sure if you've seen him to start the year.
Oh yeah, I've noticed.
Oh man.
Yo, boys, what's going on? Morning. Akers or Patterson? Give me Cordero Patterson. I don't think that's that bad of a decision to make. What side do you want in a standard redraft? Hollywood and CMC for Devontae Adams and Mixon. I actually like Adams and Mixon side better.
You know what? It's probably the answer, but I mean,
I'm more willing to not pivot off of CMC, but not admit that CMC is the same CMC. He's not.
I think
he's not going to be we've seen him get his full workload and he scored 15 points.
It's because the offense has been historically bad.
It's not going to get any better.
Standpoint. So, okay. I mean,
I think it's more likely to get worse than better.
I disagree with that. It can't get much worse with what it's at right now.
Dude, Matt Rule's going to get fired before week 7.
And that'd be a good thing for them.
Probably, but I don't know, man. I'll take the two. Attach myself to two great offenses with the Bengals and the Raiders.
I'll probably agree.
Plus, the difference between Adams and Hollywood to me is way bigger than the difference between.
I agree, but at the same time, it's like fuck giving up CMC stuff. I would agree. Actually, it would be Adams.
I never thought I'd be defending Joe Mixon like this.
God,
I think he's a lot closer to CMC than Hollywood.
He's getting the utilization. Like he got all the fucking passing down work that we could have craved coming into the year. I mean, he had fucking 9 targets in week 1. It's man. Yeah, that's a good bet, by the way.
Elijah Moore over 48.5 yards. Yeah, that's a solid bet to make. For sure. Morning, fellas. I have Herbert. Should I play him if he's active and if he isn't, start Goff or Mariota? I believe Goff plays at 1, so you're not going to know that.
Yeah.
And so does Mariota. I know Mariota plays at 425. So yeah, I'd probably wait for Herbert and pivot to Mariota if you have to.
Agree there. By the way, Spicy in the private chat's just like, don't ever come in here with that shit again.
What did he say?
From earlier about the fucking gross quarterback question.
Yeah, literally. Knox or Hearst, full PPR. You guys are confident in Juju? I would say I'm relatively confident in Juju, top 36 type of play this week.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I'm going Knox of those guys.
Where do I have them ranked? I have Knox at 11, Hearst at 12, so I'd go with Knox.
Yeah, I have Knox at 12 and Hearst at 16. So yeah,
you're a little low on Hearst, eh?
Yeah. PPR flex: Breece Hall, Everett, or Landry.
Landry.
Ew. Yeah, Jarvis probably. I don't like it, but probably Jarvis.
I don't like it either.
Let's go. Happy Sunday, boys. Do you guys think Jameson Williams will have room to eat with ARSB going insane? I do. I think Jameson Williams is one of the best trade targets in Dynasty that there is right now.
Ivan, comment it one more time. Maybe we'll get to it right now. It's not like we have a list.
Yeah, again, we're only at 11:45 a.m. So there's 150 of you in here. So it's really tough for us to get to all these questions without us just regurgitating names throughout the list. But Olave, Henderson, MVS, or Gage in the flex, half PPR. I'm going Chris Olave of those options probably.
Yeah, I agree with there. Though Henderson's relatively close in a good game environment, but I would go with Olave.
Yep. Give me AJ Dillon there, DLP, pretty easily.
Agreed.
Do you have any concerns for Herbert or his receivers?
A little bit with Herbert because obviously he looked in physical pain with that rib cartilage injury this past week. But Dr. Edwin Porras basically said it's about a 1 week type of injury for the most part. So he's probably gonna get numbing shots going into the game. He's probably not gonna feel much there, but it all depends on his actual functionability going into that game. So I'm a little bit concerned because obviously he's a fucking elite quarterback, top 5 level, maybe even top 3 level quarterback in the league. So if he's not at full capacity, it's definitely going to affect this offense. But if he's out there and if he's looking like himself, my concerns will be eased.
Yeah, for sure. I think I have concerns for Keenan Allen for a couple of reasons, obviously because of his injury and because of the Herbert situation. So yeah, I need to move Keenan Allen in my rankings because I didn't even think he was going to play. So I got to move him up. I'm going to tell you guys where I'm placing him right now so you get an idea of where I would start him among. So I'm going to put him right now at 25, right behind Drake London, Rashad Bateman, Jerry Jeudy, Gabe Davis types, but right ahead of DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin types. That's probably where I'm going to place Keenan Allen right now.
Yeah, I got to adjust him up.
I don't think he's a guaranteed start. If he plays, I would say that you should start him as a top 25, top 30 wide receiver, but I would not say he's like a locked and loaded top 12 guy.
I put him at 51 just for easy, because if he plays, I just put him in. And if he doesn't, then he's not in my top 50 for those of you on Patreon. So it was an easier thing for me, but I'll put him at 25 and then adjust him accordingly if he doesn't play. It's probably a better decision. Yeah, he's going to be right ahead of DK for me, 25. Here, get back to the comments so we can run this.
Full PPR, sit 1, Antonio Gibbs, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin. Sitting in these options.
I'm sitting DJ.
Yeah, man. This is brutal. I don't like this question. These are all close guys for me right now.
Yeah.
I have DJ Moore higher than Terry McLaurin.
Do you?
So, yeah, I do.
I have Terry at 27, DJ at 28.
I have DJ at 27 and Terry at 29. So I personally would sit Terry McLaurin of these options, but I don't.
I mean, as gross as it sounds, Gibson's like the clear play here.
Yeah, literally. Gibson is the clear play.
Here, we got another super here from DJ. Good luck, y'all. Garrett Wilson, Jeudy, DJ Moore on the flex. Give me Jerry Jeudy for this question, though. I guess you won't know because he's questionable. Do you have any other pivots in case he doesn't play? I'd want to know that.
If you have no other pivots, I think I would just start Garrett Wilson.
You know what? Garrett Wilson's going above Terry McLaurin in my rankings. What's causing me not to? Fucking hell. Why are we at week 3 and I'm already saying this? It's so cringe.
I imagine saying that before the season that Garrett Wilson's going to be higher than what? If I told you Garrett Wilson is higher than Terry McLaurin in your week 3 rankings, would you assume that Terry was a huge bust or Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson
broke out 100%.
Yeah.
Though it's been kind of both.
It's been a little bit of both. I would say Terry and DJ Moore moved down my dynasty rankings. I had them
easily.
They're old.
On a talent perspective,
I was ready to say, they're good, great talents at the wide receiver position. The more we think about it, we assume Terry and DJ Moore are these great wide receivers, but none of them have really finished as higher than wide receiver 20s in fantasy points per game. And I know that they haven't had good quarterback play, but it's not like they're commanding 30% target shares. They're more like 22 to 25%.
I mean, to be fair, Terry, yes, DJ Moore was like a 29% target share player last year. So DJ Moore, I have more confidence that he's going to. I have more confidence in him bouncing back.
I do too, but I still think him and Terry are some in the similar conversation. Because if we get another DJ Moore wide receiver 27 finish this year, can we really realistically still say he belongs to be a guy that needs to be in the
top 25 maybe
candidate wide receivers because he's gonna be 26 in the NFL for 5 years and never finishes a wide receiver 2 or better.
It's definitely fair. In terms of Terry, I saw a question that was who would you rather have in Dynasty, Olave and Terry? And I don't think it's even remotely close. I would much rather Olave.
Yeah, I don't think that's a wild statement at all.
On you, let's get to some of these questions.
Yeah. We already got to those. Chase is just too dominant as much as I love T. Yeah, big facts. Gabe Davis or Christian Kirk, full PPR. Give me Christian Kirk there. SS Austin. Would you trade Pitts to receive DK, DJ Moore, James Conner, and Dallas Goedert in Dynasty? So this is a Dynasty question. Yeah, I think I would do this.
I wouldn't.
DK and Pitts to me is separated by a round and a half of startup ADP. You're getting,
but relative value, Pitts is going to go for 3 1s, and then DK is probably going to go for a 1 and a 2. DJ Moore Do you think you can get a 1-4?
I think you could still get a
1-4?
late first for DJ Moore personally.
And then you got Connor.
James Conner's like an early second round value, I still think, at least mid second round at the very latest. And then I think Goddard's borderline a late first round, early second round type of guy too. I think this is adequate value. I don't think it's a slam dunk either way, but I like the package a little bit more.
I'd personally
especially
like
if it's in tight end premium. I guess maybe Pitts is a little bit more valuable, but if this is non tight end premium, I would take the package.
Relatively close question. I'll personally slightly lean Pitts, but I mean that is a fair package if you want to move off of him. We actually got another super chat. Appreciate that from Sovicia. He says, full PPR, 1 wide receiver, Brandon Cooks or Keenan Allen, 2 running backs, Dalvin Cook, Gibson, CH, and 1 flex from those. I have Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, and Winston. Little iffy here if Herbert is out. I don't think you're iffy here. I don't mind Trevor Lawrence given how he's played. So obviously same matchup. If Herbert doesn't play, just throw in Trevor Lawrence, and I think he should be able to be fine given what he's shown these past couple weeks. In terms of the actual, running back wide receiver decisions, I would put Brandon Cooks into my lineup because, I mean, the target share he's earned, the way the Houston offenses look relative to expectations, I think he's going to be, a fine low-end wide receiver too for the rest of the season. In terms of the 2 running backs, Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson, or CH, give me the first 2 there. And out of the flexes, I mean, the Chiefs play at 1, the Chargers play at 4. So you're not really going to know Allen's status going into that. Would you put CH just into your lineup because you don't know about Allen's status?
I'm trying to think. Do we have any pivots away from, like, because Cooks plays at 1 also. Gibson plays at 1, I believe, too, doesn't he? Yeah, Gibson plays it. Yeah, I think you just got to put CEH in, most likely.
Agreed.
You're not really in a good spot with Keenan Allen unless you hear something in the next 15 minutes of whether or not he's going to play or not. But I'd probably combine the fact with Herbert might not play also. Yeah, I would just start CEH.
Agree with that. We can get back to the comments here. Appreciate the super chat, by the way, Savicia. Hopefully that helps you, and hopefully you win your matchup.
Yep. Nate says, good morning, fellas. Either of y'all starting James Robinson over Hollywood or CD? No, I'm going to go with the 2 wideouts there. Good luck to your Bucks versus my Packers today, Bush. Good luck. I want revenge from the embarrassment a couple of years ago. I would refer to you to which one because we embarrassed you twice. So,
is that in the Dynasty League?
What?
Is that question in the Dynasty League?
Oh, I have no idea.
He plays flat, so you're going to win anyways if that's the league.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
because
it is
tanking. So
yeah.
almost beat me in week 1 though with his tanking team.
Dude, that was crazy.
Dotson and Carson Wentz and all these like random guys on his team started snapping. Dotson or Burks or Hall or Stevenson in the flex full point PPR.
Stevenson.
I think I might get gutty here and just throw Dots. Fuck. I don't know, man. That's close.
I'd go Stevenson because we did see the route participation go up, nearly a 60% route participation player this past week. We expect the Patriots to have a little bit of a bounce back against the Baltimore defense that has struggled to start the season. And with Stevenson, if he's getting that
points too, so
100%. So I would go with Stevenson, but like they're all in that like same plane, same tier of flexible options, I'd say.
I think the highest ceiling option might be crazy to say that's Treylon Burks of these options here. If you need the highest weekly ceiling out of this,
I'd agree with that.
These plays, I think Burks might be the highest ceiling.
We actually got
Kenyon Drake is out, by the way, too. So not only is Dobbins making his debut, Kenyon Drake is out.
Got another super chat here from Josh. He says PPR start 2, CD, Sutton, London, Gabe Davis. Wow. First of all, what a great situation that you're in. Second of all, give me CD and Sutton.
Yeah, I will go with the same too.
Yep. On you now.
How's it going, boys? Would you start Gibson, McLaurin, Allen Robinson, or Lazard at flex?
Gibson.
I think Gibson. Yeah, I think Gibson's where I'm going there.
I mean, A-Rob is relatively close, but I would go with Gibson. Bro, I meant Hella agents and that's crazy. With the former which Cowboy? Comment in the private chat.
I have Herbert and Goff. Should I wait for Herbert to start Goff? Yeah, I feel like we got a lot of questions like this. I would.
Okay, bet. I go Herbert. Pivot if you have to. If it's 1 quarterback league, surely you can. Worst case scenario, pick up like
Or I guess if you're fucked, you pick up Rush or Daniel Jones. But
no, I agree there.
Is your redraft manifesto the spreadsheet that is updated for weekly rankings? It is not. It's a separate rankings thing. But Price, since I'll send you the weekly rankings since you basically did our entire fucking cheat sheet for us. So just DM me or email me after the games or whatever. Lucas, start 2 PPR, London, CD, Garrett Wilson.
First 2.
Yeah, I'll go with the first 2 as well, but I don't want to sit Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Rate my team, 10-team quarterback. Okay, so you have Lamar, which is obviously great. You have Pitts, who's a positional advantage.
Yeah.
You have 2 elite running backs, and you have a great wide receiver core. So yeah, give me a 10 out of 10 for that team.
Yeah, that team's ludicrous.
Yeah, that's a really good team.
By the way, I'm starting some comments from Spicy Hot. If you guys want more information on, like, you don't want to beat the early hustle of Sunday mornings and you want to get your questions in during the week, Spicy Hot left some information on how to do so. Get access to us.
Yeah. I think Olave can be a league winner too. Yeah. I honestly, I think this rookie wide receiver class, it wouldn't shock me if a lot of them are.
It's
are
awesome,
really
man.
This year. It's looking a lot like 2020, where not only did you have Jefferson, who was elite, you also had Ayuk, who was really good for a stretch. You had T. Higgins, who was really good for a stretch. CeeDee Lamb was kind of a Mickey Mouse wide receiver for a stretch. I don't know why Danny threw him into that conversation, but Ayuk, Higgins, and Jefferson were really great their rookie years. It wouldn't shock me if like Wilson, London, and Olave, or Dotson, whatever one of these guys, or Burks, emerges as like top 24 guys.
Anytime Corey can get a jab on CD, he will do so.
I mean, we're pretending like he was comparable to Ayuk or Higgins as a rookie, and he was not. So
yes, he was.
Not from a fantasy production standpoint, because Prescott was hurt.
Brother, he was still like 1,000-yard receiver as a rookie almost.
Okay, so was Odell Beckham in 2018.
Okay, but if you actually look at the, I don't know,
points per game was Ayuk and Higgins, not close. Anyways, Mostert or okay.
Got a super chat here from Jonathan. Eckler, Kamara, or running back 1-2, flex Javonte or Pierce. Okay, so Eckler and Kamara are set at 1-2. I would easily flex Javonte over Pierce. Pretty close. Or not even close. Sorry, I mumbled. Javonte is like a top 8 running back, and Pierce is like.
I have Javonte higher than Kamara.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Where actually is Javonte in my rankings this week? He is currently running back 9 on my rankings this week.
Yeah, that's fair. I have him. I don't have him higher than Kamara. I have him at 10. I thought I did for some reason. Anyways,
on you.
Most are Ramondre. Give me a Ramondre Stevenson there. Tone. Set the tone.
Yeah. Set the tone. Next comment.
In Dynasty, is Rojo or Drake worth keeping on bench? Only an 8-person bench? No. You can drop both of those guys in an 8-person bench Dynasty league. Half PPR pick 2, Miles Sanders, Cortland Sutton, Ayuk, Garrett Wilson. I'm going to go Cortland Sutton and Garrett Wilson there.
Yep, I'll agree with that.
Pick 1, first name, T. Higgins is the guy I'm going with out of those options.
Easily. Yep.
What's up, boys? Half PPR. Any chance Elijah Moore outscores Garrett Wilson? If you mean this week, I mean, it's on a weekly basis, probably going to go back and forth. On the season, if you told me gun to my head, who do I have to pick to outscore one or the other, I would probably take Garrett Wilson to outscore Elijah Moore the rest of the season.
That's spicy.
It's spicy, but I've seen enough out of Garrett Wilson, to be honest.
I would start both Jets receivers over the rest of your options there, Canal.
Mm-hmm.
On you now.
Well. Should I look to start Dotson over MVS and Thielen at flex this week? Yes, over MVS, not over Thielen.
Agreed with that. Got another super here quickly from Nick. He says flex 1, Juju, ETN, or Dobbins. If this is a full PPR, I'll go with Juju Smith-Schuster. Half it's close between him and Dobbins.
I would go Juju in regardless of scoring.
I think I'd agree. I think I'd agree with that.
I do like JK. I'm starting to get more inclined to start JK this week though.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. He's like, a high to mid end RB3 type of option, but if he shows, fully capable of himself, getting back into that RB2 range. Another super here from Savici. I appreciate that. He says another league standard, 2 wide receivers, Higgins, Cooks, Bateman, 1 running back, Gibson, Kamara, Henderson, and 1 flex from them. So in terms of your receivers, I would go with Higgins and Cooks. I believe have the highest. Cooks and Bateman's pretty close, but I like the matchup better for Cooks. In terms of the running back, I would go with Kamara. And then out of the flex, I'd agree with that.
I'd rather flex Gibson over Bateman personally, but
he said it's full PPR. Bateman and Gibson's relatively close, but the workload we've seen from Gibson is enough for me to put him in. Also got a super chat here from Ease. If you have a question, feel free to leave it, and I'll get to it as soon as you commented. Ease, appreciate the super chat.
Yep. Brandon, full PPR, Cooks, Hollywood, Brown, Samuel. I'm sitting Curtis Samuel there. If that's not Debo, then if it's Debo, then I'll sit Cooks. But if it's Curtis Samuel, sit Curtis Samuel. Would it be too cute to start Goff for Kyler? Yes, it would be 100% too cute to start Jared Goff over Kyler Murray.
Got another super chat from Ease's question from the super. He says 12-man PPR, need wide receiver 2 and flex. McLaurin, London, Juju, or Bateman. I'm going to go with London and Bateman here.
Yeah, I will as well.
Yep. Appreciate the super chat, by the way.
Pick 2 out of the 3: Higgins, Kirk, and Gabe Davis, full PPR. Give me the first 2 there, Adam.
I would agree with that and appreciate it.
Sit 1 PPR: Dotson, Davis, A-Rob. I'm going to sit Jahan Dotson there.
I'd agree with that. Another super chat here from DJ Nothing. Appreciate that. He says, pause. Last chance to sell Derrick Henry for first. Top 4 contender if he goes off, but do I sell him? My 2023 fourth and third for CPAT of first. Okay, so basically Henry, his third and fourth for Cordell Patterson of first and second.
You get any kind of first round value out of Derrick Henry in a dynasty league, he's off my team in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. And the fact that you're also getting, supplemental win now running back value with Cordell Patterson. Yeah, give me that deal all day.
In 2024 too, which is probably the third best asset or second best asset in this trade.
Realistically, yeah. I'd agree with that. A good trade.
Judy, Jeff Wilson, Tyler Lockett, or Lazard. Start 1. Give me
Judy.
you got the pivot to Jeff Wilson. So give me Jerry Judy if he plays, and then Jeff Wilson if he's out.
And those would be my top 2 options regardless.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Already answered that.
Chargers or Bengals defense. Chargers against the Jags. Bengals against the Jets. We already had this question, I believe, from a different person, but I would take the Chargers defense. I think Danny said Bengals, but they're like really close.
Yeah, they're close.
Pick 2 full PPR: Cooks, Hollywood Brown, for Samuel. Give me Cooks and Hollywood Brown.
Yep.
Who should I start in the bash? Kenyon Drake, Madison, Jordan Mason, or Rex Burkhead? Looking pretty yikes there, Spicy Hot.
Madison against Detroit.
Give me Madison as well. But Kenyon Drake isn't playing. Jordan Mason, we have no idea what his role will be, and Rex Burkhead stinks. So yeah, give me Madison.
God, but he got such good usage in week 1.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts, by the way, that's 2 years in a row you've been fooled by the week 1.
Relax, pal.
You got fooled 2 years ago too. I remember it was 9 pints or something.
Come on, man.
And you were like,
you're acting like
20 running backs.
Come on, man. You're acting like you don't get fooled.
I didn't get fooled by Burkhead or Hines the last 2 years.
Relax, pal.
Anyways, Pitts or Everett? Give me Kyle Pitts, even though I love Gerald Everett this week.
They're back to back for me right now. As gross as
they're not back to back for me. I have Pitts way ahead of them.
I have Pitts at 5, Everett at 6.
Yeah, you have Everett a lot higher than me, dude. Holy shit.
Why wouldn't I, bro?
His quarterback has like a punctured lung for starters.
I'd still take Herbert on a punctured lung.
Apparently, he's getting an injection, by the way, and it's being supervised by the NFLPA.
Just because he doesn't want to get. Well, didn't fucking Tyrod Taylor sue the NFL for like $5 million?
And he's suing the team apparently. Tyrod
Taylor. Man's proper move there. Why wouldn't he? Like, fucking get your bags. Get your bag.
Michael Carter or ETN. Give me Michael Carter there. Omar.
Really? I'd go ETN full PPR.
Sit Dotson. Zach says start 2: Keenan Allen, Judy, Ayuk, ETN, Gage, Olave. I think we already answered this, but I think you go with Keenan and Judy, and then if you have to pivot to Ayuk or ETN, we do that. Do y'all think if Rashad Bateman gets his route participation up that he'll go nuclear? I don't know about nuclear. I don't think his ceiling is much higher than like a top 20 wide receiver. I don't think he's going to be like a wide receiver 1 this year.
I think he can get top 15.
I'd be pretty shocked if he was that good this year.
I think he can get top 15. He's been so fucking good.
He has been pretty good. I think his year 3 breakout is when we're looking towards top 15, top 12 type of ceiling. But I do think he can be a top 20 receiver this year.
Definitely
on
fair.
A high route participation.
Hawkinson.
I'll take TJ Hawkinson there, Nicholas.
TJ Blockinson.
Start Russ or Wentz. I'm still taking Russell Wilson.
I got Wentz higher, so I would go with Wentz.
Yeah, you're a bit lower on Russ this week by the looks of it.
I'm not. I just higher on Wentz.
I mean, the offense looks fucking terrible, so I don't blame you. But I just think we're gonna get back on track.
Where do you have Russ ranked?
I have Russ at 11.
I'm at 12.
Okay, but I have him ahead of that tier of like Tua, Jared Goff, and Carson Wentz, which is probably the difference.
Fair, respectable.
We actually have like Derek Carr way higher than you. Also,
I have Carr at 11.
I have Stafford at 9. You probably don't have Stafford higher than that.
I have him at 9.
Okay, you do have him at 9. All right.
Got a super chat here from Lewis. Appreciate that. He's a standard 2 wide receivers or slash flex. Higgins, Sutton, flex Connor or Dotson. I would go with Higgins, Sutton, and Connor.
Yeah, I would as well.
Yep.
20 Hardaway says, would Judy and oh yeah, we already answered this question, I believe, but I said it would be an overpay.
Yeah, that's fair. Get back to where we left off.
Juju, Garrett Wilson, or Allen Robinson. Give me Garrett Wilson there, Nate.
Yep.
Mike Williams, CD, Curtis Samuel. I need 2. I'm sitting
First
Curtis Samuel. A lot of sit Curtis Samuel talk from us today, so hopefully Curtis Samuel doesn't go absolutely berserk. Yeah.
Or else we'll get the angry YouTube comments again.
Oh yeah. We've told a lot of you guys to sit Curtis Samuel so far. I have him at wide receiver 32. It's just that a lot of you guys have better options than him.
Yeah.
Juju or AJ Dillon in the flex full PPR. I'm taking AJ Dillon there.
I'm taking Dillon.
Sit 2, AJ Dillon, Cordero Patterson, Brandon Cooks, Allen Robinson, Gabe Davis, Brandon
Ayuk Robinson.
Yeah, I'm on board with that as well. Burks versus Raiders, Lazard versus Tampa. Ugh. Yeah, give me Burks.
Burks.
Mac or Danny Dimes. Ew. Give me Mac Jones. I don't want to play against the Cowboys defense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What defense do you guys like? Giants, Cincinnati, Jags,
Chiefs,
Panthers.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I'll take the
Chiefs against Colts. Colts offense looked abysmal to start the year.
Yeah, I like the Bengals too. That's why I'm kind of caught between that. I will take the Chiefs defense though.
Yeah. Dameon Pierce or Jeff Wilson? Give me Jeff Wilson there, Brandon.
Yeah, I'll take Jeff Wilson there as well. Pick 2, Brandon Cooks, Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas, or Gabe Davis. Michael Thomas is a lock, and then I would probably go with Gabe Davis as my other option.
Actually, I don't know who I have higher right now between Cooks and
I have him 2 spots higher, I believe, Gabe Davis.
I have Gabe Davis at 20, Cooks at 21, so give me Gabe Davis.
Yeah. 2 questions. Would y'all start Michael Carter over Kamara?
Nope.
No. And Dawson,
Everett,
or Dawson Knox, or Everett. I'll go Everett and Kamara of those 2 options. Agreed. There. Pick 2, Drake London, Michael Thomas, Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson there pretty easily. Kittle or Higbee, easily. George Kittle there, Philip. Alberto, Tunyon, Gesicki, full PPR.
Alberto.
I think Alberto is where I'm going as well, but I don't love it.
I don't love it at all.
Cooks or Dotson. Give me Brandon Cooks. James Robinson or Christian Kirk. Give me Christian Kirk. Full PPR DST question. Okay, you got to get those receptions. And Falcons, Bengals, or Texans.
Bengals.
I'll probably go Bengals, but the Falcons against the Seahawks is also in the conversation. Same with the Texans there too. Full PPR, J.D. McKissick or Dameon Pierce. Give me Dameon Pierce there, Alex. Waddle over Michael Thomas.
No, they're close, but no,
they're close. I think I have Waddle a little higher though.
I have Waddle at 12, MT at 10.
I have Waddle at 12 and I have Michael Thomas at 12 and Waddle at 15 actually. So
well, you have Waddle low, damn.
I do have him low, but I think this was before all the injuries to the Bills secondaries. So I should probably move him up a little bit ahead of Pittman and Christian Kirk and some of the other guys that I had ahead of him.
Yep. So we'll go on for 3 more minutes, so we have time to set our own lineups. Appreciate you guys for tuning in for the last.
Oh, by the way, Maria's watching football with me all day today. She doesn't know what she's getting into.
So.
Yeah.
W.
She's like, I'll make food and like shit, and I'm like,
yo,
I'm gonna be glued to my fucking the TV.
She's real life cooking, eh?
Yeah.
I'm at a fucking anniversary for my uncle and aunt, so I'm gonna have to be watching a lot of Red Zone, a lot of Dazen. So.
On your phone?
I might bring my laptop there. Fuck it, we ball.
You can bring your laptop and watch football.
An anniversary party.
Kind of an alpha move right there.
Hey man, set the tone.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna rip
the super chat here from Diego.
Yeah.
Full PPR, pick 1. Hollywood, A-Rob, or more. Get Hollywood in your lineup right now there, Diego. Appreciate the super chat.
Yep, agreed. Okay, so I'm not even going to read the questions here. I'm just going to give answers. So we got give me Leonard Fournette side of that trade there, Brendan. Give me Kittle in that trade, Zach Jones. Give me Mike Williams in the flex today. And then it skipped over a bunch of questions. Classic StreamYard because we're super, super behind. But Titan's about to tighten up. Is there any like last minute ones that we can get into? Because this like just skipped over everything for me.
Fuck, I have no clue. There's a bunch that we have here.
All right, 1 more minute. Any last minute supers we'll get to, but otherwise we're gonna sign out of here because I do need to check all of my lineups as well.
And for the record, Spicy kind of mentioned it too. I know a couple other mods have mentioned it, but basically, the lineup is a lot less, tedious, if you will, on Thursdays. So if you guys have questions going into Sunday, going into Thursday, whatever you name it, the Thursday streams are better because instead of, we peaked at about like 175 today, those are more normally at the 75 to 100 type of range.
Also, we have like 10 to 15 people in our Patreon live streams every week.
Yes,
and for those of you guys, I've seen, Alfredo, Savicia, some of you guys that are leaving super chats that are as big as our Patreon monthly subscription. That's a month's worth of super chats, basically, that you'd have to give up for every Saturday at noon. We're live with 10 to 15 people in our live
every
stream.
single comment.
Get to every single comment. We're able to go in depth on every single comment. And like I said, the link in the description says, access to a private live stream, patreon.com/fantasy stock exchange. Check that out because every Saturday at noon Eastern, we do that. So,
yep, exactly.
And even if you can't make it to, you can always throw us your question ahead of time in the DMs and we'll answer it on that and you can watch it back afterwards.
Yep. But either way, I appreciate you guys for tuning in for the last hour and 10 minutes. Hopefully you guys win your week 3 matchups, whether you're 0-2, 1-1, 2-0. Hopefully you guys get that right back on track, ready for that playoff push.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, peace out, guys. Good luck.